Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of our podcast series dedicated to careers in the real estate industry in Luxembourg. The idea is simple. In each episode, we take a very concrete look at a profession, its day-to-day challenges, and reality. Today's podcast is dedicated to the profession of real estate lawyers and will be animated by Elisabeth Lauweriez, lawyers at Dentons, and myself, Gerwin Weber, Deals Director at PwC Luxembourg, fellow members of the Lux Real Young Talent Committee.
Thank you, Gerwin, for hosting us. We are welcoming today our two guests. So we have Johanna Mazy, who is an associate at Clifford Chance, Luxembourg. She studied law in Belgium and has been working in the legal profession for about 8 years now. We also have Quentin Martin, who is a counsel at DSM Avocat à la Cour, who also studied law in Belgium and has been working for about 8 years now. So welcome and thank you for being here. So
Thank you, Elisabeth.
Thank you.
let's dive in. What's the main purpose of your job, our job? What if you had to explain it to a kid, for example?
If I had to explain it to a 10-year-old, I would say that we check that the story of the building makes sense and that everyone agrees on the rules.
Yeah. In a few words, I'd say we just untangle problems.
We also try to avoid them before they happen. So what does your job mean in practice?
So in practice, my work is very transaction focused. So I draft and review documents. I coordinate with team members, colleagues, notaries, clients also a lot. The goal really is to make sure that all the legal pieces fit together before anything is signed.
Mm-hmm. And as for me, I would say that my work revolves around two main pillars. That's basically litigation and transactions. Regarding the transactional side, I advise public entities and companies in matters such as property acquisitions, lease agreement, or development projects. On the litigation side, I represent our clients before both the civil and administrative jurisdictions here in Luxembourg. And this can range from, let's say, basic constructions disputes to challenges against construction permit or public procurement decision. And lastly, as a counsel, I also oversee the work of a few juniors. I review the drafts and I give them a bit of guidance when need be.
We do have a lot of responsibilities. I think you agree with me when I say that. So can you maybe explain what kind of responsibilities we have?
So, but yeah, as I explained, the range is quite broad. This can be, for example, a tenant challenging the termination of his lease. This can be a last-minute problem during a property acquisition. This can also be a public entity facing a legal action against one of its decision, or even a real estate promoter who needs to have an advice regarding zoning regulations.
Yeah, and at my level, I think my main responsibility is supporting the team on transactions. So that means making sure that there's no risks or legal issues regarding the property, and really making sure that nothing is overlooked before, again, we signed an agreement.
Yeah, I would say that our role is mainly to avoid the risks. So that's why the lawyer is here, to avoid any risks, legal risk, or it could also be somehow financial risks in transactions. So exactly, thank you.
And so on the day-to-day, what are the main problems that land on your desk when you open your computer, your phone, that you usually discover?
Yeah, and I think, as Quentin just said, it's mostly practical questions. So comments on draft agreements or just questions from clients by email or by phone sometimes, yes.
Now that we understand what the job is really about, can you explain a typical day? So basically, what's the most common action that you repeat on a daily basis?
Prioritizing, definitely. Because each day when you just come to work, you have to determine which file needs your attention first, to which client you must answer first, and then I think that triage is a skill that you quickly learn in this job.
And how do you work? Do you work on your own, or is it a teamwork? Does it depend on the matters you have? How do you
I
deal?
would say it's really a mix. I spend a lot of time working on my own, either on drafting or research. But I feel like real estate is also very collaborative. So we coordinate a lot with, other associates or partners or team members, but also notaries, clients. So that's what makes the job, I think, very interesting. It's the collaboration between everyone.
So let's be honest as well. There's a lot of pressure in our job. So how do you deal with the pressure? What does it look like when there's a lot of pressure during the day?
For me, typically, high pressure day is that's the day just before a signing or a closing, and like a last minute, there is a last minute problem surfacing, or it can also be the day just before you have a court deadline, and so you have things to complete. You have, for example, a brief to file with the court last minute. And honestly, on those days, everything else takes a backseat, and you need just to stay focused on what you are doing.
Makes sense. So what is the most unpredictable moments or that you have to deal with?
I would say a phone call or an email from a client can really change the day and reshuffle priorities really quickly.
So let's talk about positive things now. What does a good day look like to you?
I think a good day for me, a good day is when the deal is closing smoothly after weeks or even months of hard work, or when you just receive a favorable decision from the courts for your clients. Yeah, I think that everybody likes to win. That's not only for the lawyers. And yeah, also what we can say is a good day can also be one day when you can work through your to-do list without too many surprises.
Of course.
I would say also, sorry, when a deal is closed, it's my favorite part because seeing the signed agreements, it's just very rewarding. So that's
the outcome of months
that's
and
the
weeks
best,
of hard work. So you're
Yes.
glad to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing teamwork. And you're so glad of the accomplishment. What if you have to give one or two key skills that if someone wants to be a lawyer right now, what would you tell them some skills they need to have?
I'd say rigor and adaptability.
Sure. Makes sense.
I agree. And I would say also organization and communication, just the ability to make, complex things simple. But of course, it's a learned skill.
Sure.
So we discussed the skills, and if we look at the future and the biggest challenge that the profession is facing, what could you tell us about that?
First thing I see is that the regulatory environment keeps the complexity of the regulatory environment keeps increasing. For example, just take environmental regulation, energy performance requirements, AML obligations. And the point is that our clients expect us to master all of it. Another point I see is the rise of AI, but I think that's something that's the same for all of us.
I would say that indeed AI is it's changing our lives on a daily basis, but it's also changing our jobs. For the legal profession, I would say that it's a tool for now, but I wouldn't say that you can blindly rely on it because it does fabricate case law and articles from codes that do not exist. And it does, it gives you some legal decisions that do not exist. So right now it's really a tool maybe to help you in some of the drafting, but you cannot really blindly rely on it. As Quentin said, thing is now we feel like the clients want something that is even faster, of better quality, etc. Thing is, when you're a lawyer in real estate, there's a wide range of matters that land on your desk. It could be urban planning, construction. One day you're going to draft a contract, and then the next day you're going to draft something for the court. It's always something different. You have lease agreement, you have construction, architect contract. There's a wide range of things that we work on, and it's interesting because it's always something different, but you cannot really master one thing, one subject, because there are so many. So it's a challenge, but it's a good one because we learn so many things and we do so many things.
Totally.
Yeah. So we talked about the evolution of the job. I think, as we said, AI is something big. And as you said, laws and regulations are always evolving. So we need to be updated on everything. That's why it's good. We have some knowledge lawyers as well, and we have some knowledge management teams because there are a lot of things that we cannot follow on a day-to-day basis, like a new law or a law that's been modified, or we need to work with that. What if someone is watching this podcast and is thinking, "Oh, I want to be a lawyer"? Sounds really nice.
In real estate.
In real estate, of course. What advice would you give that person?
I would say be patient and be curious, because real estate law is at the crossroad of civil law, administrative law, corporate law, tax law, and it takes a few years to get the big picture, the full picture of it. But once you do, I think that's incredibly stimulating.
And I agree with Quentin. Just be curious, ask questions, and also build strong organizational habits, which I think is true for every job. But when you're juggling multiple matters, it really helps.
Sure. To wrap this up, one word to describe the job.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Rewarding.
Oh, yes, for sure. One thing you love about it.
Helping your clients get out of difficult situations, I'd say.
Yeah, and I love that we work on very pragmatic and concrete matters. So it's very real projects with concrete outcomes.
And now one thing that is really hard, but that's really worth it.
Yeah, perhaps the tight deadlines and the fact that you have from time to time to work in a rush, but that's part of the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say also the learning curve and building relationships with clients, mostly and also colleagues. Yes.
I would also say that sometimes they have big real estate deals and we're just here to draft the contracts, and we don't always have the big picture with everything that's going on the construction side, or I wouldn't say we're only here to draft the contracts, but sometimes it's hard to have the big picture of the whole deal. And we have to deliver pretty quickly on maybe not having all the information that are needed because there are a lot of actors involved in the deal. So, well, thank you so much to both of you. It was really interesting. Now, I hope everyone learned a lot about the legal profession in real estate. Thank you, and thank you, Gerwin.
Thank you very much, all. Thank you very much all for listening to us today, and stay tuned for the next podcast related to careers in the real estate industry in Luxembourg.